Have you ever looked at an ordinary $50 and wondered if it could secretly be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Well, today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of the 20th century, the 1972 Kennedy $50. At first glance, it may seem like just another 50-cent piece from your change, but collectors know there are rare varieties, hidden mint errors, and valuable conditions that make certain 1972 Kennedy $50 worth big money. So, don't underestimate this coin. It might just be a jackpot hiding in plain sight. Let's start with a little background. The Kennedy $50 was first struck in 1964, just a few months after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination. Americans were eager to honor him, and the coin quickly became one of the most collected U.S. coins ever. By 1972, the $50 had already gone through a few changes. The silver content was removed in circulation coins after 1970, meaning that 1972 $50 are made of copper-nickel clad instead of silver. Even though they don't contain silver, certain 1972 $50 can still be worth much more than their face value because of rarity, condition, and errors. Now, let's talk numbers. The U.S. Mint produced Kennedy $50 in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco in 1972. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 153 million coins, the Denver Mint struck more than 141 million, and San Francisco produced around 3 million proof coins. That's a massive mintage, and normally high mintage means lower value. But here's the catch. Most people didn't actually use $50 in everyday circulation, so many stayed pristine, and some with special features became rare treasures. So, what makes a 1972 Kennedy $50 valuable? First, condition. If you've got a coin straight from circulation that's scratched, dinged, and worn, it's usually worth around 50 cents. But if you have one in uncirculated condition, bright, shiny, and with no wear, it could sell for a few dollars to collectors. Move up to higher grades like MS-65 or MS-66, and the value jumps into the $50 to $200 range. The real stars are the coins graded MS-67 and higher. Those can easily reach $1,000 or more at auction because they are so rare in that condition. Next, let's talk about errors and varieties. This is where the real money comes in. Error coins are accidental mistakes made during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love them. A double die error, for example, can show extra thickness or doubling on the lettering or numbers. If you find a 1972 Kennedy $50 with clear doubling on "In God We Trust" or the date, that could turn a 50-cent coin into a coin worth hundreds. Another type of error is the off-center strike, where the design is shifted away from the center. Depending on how dramatic the error is, these can sell for $50, $100, or even more. Then there are clipped planchets, where a small piece of the coin's edge is missing, or coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether, like a quarter planchet. These kinds of errors are extremely rare and can command thousands of dollars. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also deserve a mention. These were specially struck for collectors and have a beautiful mirror-like finish. A 1972 S-proof $50 in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition is a showpiece for any collection. While most proof coins might sell for $10 to $30, the highest graded examples can go for $300 or even higher. Some deep cameo proof coins have crossed the $1,000 mark when sold at auction. Let me give you a shocking example. A 1972 Kennedy $50 in MS-67 condition from the Philadelphia Mint once sold for over $1,000 at auction. Another 1972 D $50 in MS-67 Plus brought nearly $3,000. That's right, thousands of dollars for a coin most people would overlook in their change jar. Even some proof coins in the perfect PR70 grade have sold for more than $2,000. The lesson here is simple. Condition and rarity are everything. If you have a 1972 $50, don't just assume it's only worth 50 cents. Grab a magnifying glass, check for doubling, check for errors, and pay close attention to its condition. If it looks pristine, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it certified. Collectors also look for what's called strike quality. The design on the Kennedy half is detailed, with fine features like Kennedy's hair. Many 1972 halves are weakly struck, meaning the hair looks flat or mushy. But if you find one with a strong strike where the hair details are sharp, that's a premium coin worth more to collectors. Another tip: look at the edge of the coin. Since 1972 halves are clad, you'll usually see a copper line along the edge. But once in a while, errors can cause unusual edges. Anything strange or different might increase the coin's value. And here's something really cool. While most people think the Kennedy half-dollar stopped being important after the 1960s, the truth is these coins are still highly collectible today. Every year, new collectors enter the hobby, and demand for rare and high-grade coins keeps prices high. That's why a simple 1972 Kennedy half-dollar can surprise you with its value. Imagine finding one in your coin jar and discovering it's worth $500, $1,000, or even more. That's the kind of hidden treasure that makes coin collecting so exciting. People have turned pocket change into auction money, and the 1972 half-dollar is a perfect example of how something ordinary can become extraordinary.